Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's 5D Healerverse Roundtable. I am your co-host, sitting in for Trish King, owner, founder, creator of 5D Healerverse. So amazing. And today we have our dear friend and brother, Brian Baker, who is a massage therapist, Reiki practitioner, meditation guru, all these amazing things. And today he's going to share with us a little bit about him, his work, what he does, and why it's important to him. So, Brian, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Let us know who you are.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Baker. I've been on this healing journey since January 22nd, 2015. I had just met a neighbor across the street, and he introduced me to crystals, more specifically moldavite, and that's my favorite stone, but it is very ungrounding, so I don't really work with it too often. But because of this stone, I had completely shifted my physiological being that I could not understand how a rock just changed me. And in that conversation, all of a sudden, my friend Rick, he starts glowing and he says, "Oh, there's this woman loving you, guiding you, supporting you. She's on the other side. I presume she's family." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, you can kind of tell that to everyone." I wasn't really convinced, but then he said her name, Celeste, which is my great aunt. So I'm like, oh my God, he's actually talking to my great aunt. How is this possible? So because of him and that moldavite experience, I really shifted my path from being in finance to being more in the healing arts. And I credit him for bringing me on my path, and I continue doing more healing work for myself and other people.
Wait, so you were in finance? I mean, meeting you,
Yep,
would never guess.
I had just graduated with a finance degree from Florida State.
Wow.
Yeah.
And just like that, your life changed.
And yep, just buy finance. I'm good on that.
So, what was this journey like for you to make the switch from something you studied, got your degree, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to dedicate my life to learning about crystals because it changed my life. And trust me, I understand my Moldavite experience was mind blowing from the first time I got my piece. It took me some time to acclimate to it, but then when you get acclimated, it's like, okay, I get it. I understand why people love this extraterrestrial stone to begin with.
Right. So shortly after that Moldavite experience and Rick telling me that he's talking to my great aunt, I had gotten invited to a Reiki circle and I had no idea what that was, but because the person who invited me was someone I grew up with, I was just like, I don't even know what you're talking about, but I'm going to say yes because I trust you. You're like a second mom to me. So I had talked to Rick, that guy that gave me the moldavite, and he said,
Mhm.
"Oh, when you get into such a meditative state, you can ask the higher power, God, whatever you believe in, a question, you will get your answer." So I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to live in Florida at the time in 2015. So I asked the universe, where am I moving to? And when I got into the Reiki circle, we started putting people into this candle into the light, and all of a sudden, some people got up from the circle and then started going around doing their Reiki healing. I had no idea what was happening, so I had my eyes. I kind of like snuck in, seeing what was going on because I had no idea what was happening. But all of a sudden, I was getting a lot of anxiety being surfaced. I thought I was like in some black magic, some voodoo. It just felt really awful because I was feeling my own bubbling anxiety. And then all of a sudden, someone's hands were on my face, and it was just like, poof, 20 pounds of anxiety gone. And I had my eyes closed, and I see Denver, Colorado with my eyes closed. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm moving to Denver. And I told the universe I'm moving to Denver January 1st, 2016. And January 1st, 2016, I was in Denver, just moved there. So everything kind of just was spirit led for me to move there. And my intention was to find a Native American Reiki teacher. Found her on the second day that I was there. And that propelled me into learning more about the healing arts and Reiki and all the other stuff. So it just kind of like spiraled from there.
That's amazing. I love that you talk about your experience in such a grounding way that makes it relatable to everyone because you came in this as a skeptic. You said, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening, but I'm going to allow myself to trust myself enough to trust the universe to
Right.
guide me on my path. It's like, okay, I'm open to receiving, but I am specific about what I want. And that's the key right there is that you set the intention and the specificity about what it is that you wanted for yourself. And as you honed your abilities, as you honed and you took this time for yourself, what was the key moment for you that really said, well, this is what I'm meant to do? What was that moment
Mm.
and what was it like for you?
Before I moved to Colorado, I had learned Reiki 1 and 2. But when
Mm-hmm.
I did Reiki 1, we got our attunement, which is the energetic ceremony for the person to start using the Reiki energy. We're all tapped into it, but we would be using our own energy field rather than connecting to kind of like the internet. We're
Yeah.
connecting to that universal flow. So after the attunement, we were supposed to go to the other student and just like place our hands on their shoulders to kind of send some healing. And I had recognize that I've been doing that my entire life, just not knowing what it was called. So that moment was like, oh, I am supposed to be doing this. So when I was younger, I would have headaches and I would just kind of like siphon the tension into my hands, like kind of cup my hand like that and just imagine the tension going inside and then I
Mm.
would throw it away into Mother Earth. And I would significantly reduce the tension in my headaches or get rid of it. So I'm like, oh, there's a name for it. There's a whole group of people that do the same thing that I do that I didn't recognize actually was something you can learn. So that was like kind of like the point where, oh, I am supposed to be doing this.
Wow. Yeah. It's amazing how we innately always go and do what we think we know what we're supposed to be doing. But society, through the conditioning that we get so put off or turned off by what we call alternative medicine or energy medicine, that we're supposed to go out into the world, earn a living, get a degree, have a life, and live the American dream, so to speak. And it is in this space, in this way, when you open yourself to that trust, beautiful things can happen. And that's what it sounds like for you. And right now, you are incorporating this into your current practice, which is,
I'm doing like massage, Reiki, cranial, Thai, but I will be able to balance all the things to kind of specialize what treatment you need. So
mhm.
let's say you want to work with kind of like physical and energetics. We can do like a Reiki massage, or we can do Thai massage where I'm doing stretching and stimulating the meridians, the lines of energy within our body, and then doing Reiki on top of that, or craniosacral, releasing the fascia, and then bringing in Reiki to help kind of seal and set the physical body together. So I like to kind of mix all the things because we're multifaceted human beings, and a lot of the times we need very specific treatments to move things along, either physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually. And I also do different meditations and crystal grids to help bring in different healing for you.
And I like that. That's really beautiful and amazing in how you allow this to develop naturally. But I want to go back to what you were talking about crystals, because I know that's your passion, that's your purpose. I know that you are working on a crystal deck. So, how did you decide to work on this? What was the motivation? What was the
My little crystal
purpose?
deck.
Yes, I love your crystal deck. So, what was the purpose of this crystal deck, and why did you come about creating it?
So because of Moldavite, I came from a very analytical mind, very numerology, like a numbers mindset with finance. That
Mm,
this stone really changed my life and like changed my being. That I went on Google and found out the exact same experience that I had, and Google told me that. So my mind was like, okay, I can't deny what Moldavite just did to me because Google is saying the exact same thing. There's no way that I can deny this. So the more I worked with each stone, the more I got to connect with their powerful energies, shifting subtle things into my body. So the more you work with different stones, the more you can understand where each stone is kind of pinpointing their healing. So over the last 10 years, I've gotten really deep and in being able to work with different stones. So like I have sugilite, I have 108 stones in here, and I've worked with every single one of them. And all of these stones are crystals that I have myself. So I took all these pictures of my stones and put them on a card. So I don't have a book necessarily because it's all in my mind. I have to kind of bring that out into a physical form to be able to sell this. But right now, this is just me and my own work over the last 10 years about what stone does what. And there's 108, and I still have others that aren't even in the deck.
So, if anyone wanted to get a deck, would you make one for them?
I'm doing more readings right now, so I can
Okay.
kind of like piece more of the finer details of what the stones are doing, so that when I put it into an actual booklet, like all the other card decks have, then I can start selling them. So right now, it's not available for purchase, but you can get a reading from me, and you can really understand more of what is going on with you physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Whereas the tarot is really linked for our own psychology. So this is going to be a different reading, but just as effective as an actual tarot reading.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that you put that into ease and understanding for all of us. And for those who want a reading with Brian, definitely, look for his contact info in the description. We can go ahead and get that to you. But Manny, thank you for joining us today, my friend. So pleasure, so happy to see your face. Do you have any questions or want any clarity about, Brian and his work?
Wow, absolutely. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Mindful Manny here, reporting from sunny St. Cloud, Florida. Brian, where are you located?
I'm in Deerfield Beach.
Deerfield Beach. Okay.
Mhm.
And you're not Trish Kane. What's your name?
I'm Hillis sitting in for Trish Kane, and she's at a very important meeting today.
Your name again? Sorry.
Hillis,
Ellis. Ellis.
yes.
Okay, awesome.
We connected on Telegram. Yeah.
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 I just didn't. I keep reading, and it's like it throws me off. It forces me. It
I put it in
forces
the
me
chat
to
so he
connect
knows.
with your feminine side, kind of.
Yeah.
So the sorry, I'm coming in late. I actually registered between red lights, and then I'm actually at my workplace on my day off. Yada yada yada. So I missed a lot of Brian's introduction. So I don't want to make any uh, wrong assumptions. But the last question I have, because I may have three, but the last question, probably the most important, what and Hillis, if you can also answer, I'd love to hear, like, I'm surveying what people say about tarot cards. I'm intrigued, I'm interested, but I also come from the matrix programming of Catholic school, Catholic church, and there's even other Christian, software programs that say that that's of the devil and things like that. So How do you, give an outside the box Healerverse answer to that?
Totally. So there's, I don't want to like offend anyone, but I think there's a lot of our own ego that might have been put into the Bible. And when you go to church, the person doing the ceremony is expecting you to come to them for your own connection to God.
Yeah, like a
Whereas,
broker.
right. So my job is to be able to help guide you through a reading, but I'm not expecting you to, like, I'm trying to help you get your connection to God rather than you coming to me for your connection to God. I can like I can help you get there and understand what is blocking you so to your own connection to God. So
Yeah,
that's why
yeah.
I like to work with the cards, because most, I would say 99.9% of the time, I am working with your higher self and your guides, not anything nefarious. And sometimes um, some beings can come in and try to mess with you so that you don't get the correct information. But that's why you have to go to a grounded, trusted mentor. Whereas if you just go to a person on the side of the road with their little psychic readings, you just don't know where they are. So I just say, if you trust the person to do the reading, then that's 100% perfect, because they're going to go straight to you and your higher self and your guides to do the reading and nothing else. So my purpose is to help other people in their own connection to God. I'm not asking you to put your faith in my connection for you.
Yeah,
And I
that
see
makes
that
perfect
often
sense.
in like the church.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like a hierarchical thing, and then there's this
Yes.
middleman. It's like a
Yeah.
toll gate. You need to pay. You
Right.
need to pay to get through to go up
Yes.
there. Whereas you're not really playing that third party role. You're really in a one to one. You're just facilitating the flow of energy, and I'll just kind of leave it at that. So, yeah, so I guess
So
it's like anything else. It can be misused or used for negative or nefarious reasons or for the light.
yeah. No, it's interesting because as you were talking, Brian, I just had a little moment and never thought of it, and I'm still going to continue to process this thought. But you said the word sermon, and then that triggered the word ceremony. And when I think of
Mm,
ceremony, it reminds me of indigenous cultures, their practice with, indigenous plant medicines and so forth. And what's interesting about that is it's the same thing.
Right.
It's the same exact thing. You have the pastor, preacher, deacon, whomever in the pulpit at the head of the congregation, almost altar like style if you think of it in that context. And then you have the parishioners, you have the followers, and watching and listening attentively. We're not always attentively, but you get it. And so in a ceremony setting, it's the same thing. We're all connected to a shaman, but I feel that the difference, with this, actually, there is no difference. It's just the play on words, sermon and ceremony. It's the same process. The only thing is they're not sitting there for hours on end in the ceremony, as opposed to a sermon. It's like maybe, hour,
Right.
2 hours, depending on what your faith is. And I just find that interesting. I'm going to keep processing it a little bit more, but this is, thank you for
Of
that.
course. Great
um,
question, Manny.
yeah, that was a really good question, Manny. What's the other question that you had for Brian?
um, since I missed your introduction by me coming late, and I also didn't realize that Brian is the featured speaker, I thought that we were doing kind of like an informal waiting for people to come in the room kind of a thing. So
Well, it's always informal.
Yeah.
yeah,
We
it's
don't see
always
no
informal.
formalities here.
I guess it's just that Brian, I mean, there's nothing against you. Brian just didn't have like signs going, he's the man, he's the spotlight guy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and maybe my mind is conditioned. You know how Healerverse has that really cool purplish fuchsia background?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, that Trish and I don't know if Hillis or Brian are gonna go there, but maybe I'm kind of like expecting that kind of uh, backdrop or whatever.
Well,
But anyway, so
we're getting there. Trisha's working on big things today, so yeah.
yeah. So oh, that's right. She's doing the pitch today, or is that yesterday?
No, that's today.
Woo! Okay, how I get it. So, Brian, and without having to repeat yourself too much, if you were to kind of distill it, like the work that you do is essentially, the essence of what you do. How would you word it briefly?
Connecting the energetic work to the body. So I do like massage, cranial, Thai massage, Reiki, crystal healing, and then I do a mix of those as well. So let's say you want to come in and do more physical and energetic. I can do a Thai massage where we're stretching the body, working with the meridians of the body, and then doing Reiki to help move the energy lines even more. So that's going to be physical and emotional, spiritual. But if you
Yeah.
wanted more like mental, I would say cranial or emotional and physical, then we can do like a Reiki massage. So it's just kind of mixing the treatment to get to the levels that you want to work on, either physical,
So,
emotional, mental, or spiritual.
so if we were to make the assumption that today the three of us are in 5D light work, whatever. Uh,
Mhm.
what you did before in 3D, was it like massage therapy in a nutshell?
I actually started doing Reiki. I've been doing Reiki for 10 years, massage only for 2 years.
Okay, cool,
So
cool.
I kind of hesitated on doing massage therapy because I'm like, I want to do Reiki. I want to do more energetic stuff. And having the massage license here in Florida, I am able to put my hands on you for Reiki. Where if you didn't, you had to do non-touch Reiki. But living in Colorado, it's the same rule, but there's a caveat. Your client is fully clothed, then I can put my hands on you, which most likely you're going to be for just Reiki. So when I moved back to Florida, I needed that hands-on license. So I got my massage license to learn other things as well. So I wanted to learn craniosacral, but you needed that massage license. And luckily, I find massage very fun, and it's just a different kind of energy work. So,
Wow. Now
mhm.
that opens, now I'm doing my inner work through you guys. So maybe this is why I'm experienced, and Trish knows me very well. Trish has tried to help me unblock my blocks about like how do I make that transition from the 3D identification to the 5D. And it's because I have too much in my head for 25 years. I've been a psychotherapist, clinical
Mm,
social worker trained to be in that DSM-5 world with medications and psychiatrists all around me. So maybe that's why there's like a block. You know how earlier I was talking about the gates and the
mhm,
toll booth thing? Maybe that's why there's a block between third and five. It's because I'm still using that construct that in order to be somebody, I got to get my license as a LCSW in Florida. And it's just like my body, like at the core saying, dude, think again, try
mhm,
again. You don't have
It's
to.
like another message.
Yeah, yeah. It's like been there, done that. Because I played that game I started that in 2000 in Pennsylvania. Then I played that game in Puerto Rico. Now I'm in Florida. And it's like, it's like I got to prove to this 3D construct that I'm valuable enough to pass the board exam. Therefore, and if I do, then I'll be valuable enough to, it's nonsense. And the thing is, back to what you were talking about, Brian, it's embodiment. I totally appreciate the embodiment. I did Reiki level 1 back in 99, but the part of hands-on or just hands-on healing or whatever, it's the embodiment that like that's the missing link for me because it's just I've been in my head or keeping my clients in their head for 25 years. And
Yeah.
so my own healing is bringing me into my body and into earthing, for example, and things like that. Tai Chi, moving energy like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not necessarily saying, oh, I gotta go get my massage therapy license, but it is opening my mind to like, I think this is what the universe is showing me.
Mm.
To balance, to have more of a yin yang between head, body, let's say.
Right. And so like my spiritual mentor, the second I met her in 2018, she's like, you need to get your massage license. And I'm like, no, 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 no. So finally, when I did it, she's like, "Ugh, it took so long, but like finally, because when you have that massage license, you're like under the health board of health in Florida. People take you a little bit more seriously now that you have that massage license, and it opens up the doors for other healing. So like craniosacral, Thai massage, Rolfing, you can do zero balancing, you can do visceral manipulation. So massage therapy kind of opens you up to a lot more therapies that you can incorporate with your Reiki. So in hindsight, I should have always listened, but it was kind of perfect timing that I did the massage therapy back in 2023. So it's definitely something to think about, even though you might not want to like actually do massage, but it allows you to get to all these other avenues of therapies that you couldn't get without it.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the other thing. What the pathway that you've just described for yourself opens the doors, opens the chakras
Yeah.
socially, psychosocially, right? Your environment to the woo-woo stuff.
Right.
Whereas if I continue with this DSM-5 construct, it's anti-woo-woo stuff.
Mm.
And it's keeping me trapped. Like, so it's kind of like how the question that the universe is asking me right now is how comfortable, Manny, are you in your cage?
Well,
Mm.
I just want to say, that's you bring up really good points, and I just wanted to express that there's no such thing as woo woo and non woo. Okay, it just is. I mean, it's just what we've been conditioned to believe, which is another space of separation and contrast, because we have,
Right.
allowed society, say, oh, well, we don't believe in that, so we're going to call it black magic, we're going to call it voodoo and hoodoo, which actually exist. But or, Reiki healing and energy work and energy medicine and implant medicine, all this stuff, it exists and it helps the body. I mean, the reason why it's labeled a woo woo, in my personal opinion, is the fact that people don't understand what it does and how it can help somebody. And
Mhm.
it's not magic in the sense of hocus pocus. And it's not magic. Well, it's magic in a way because it helps. It helps the mind, helps the body, helps the spirit come into alignment of all of that.
It
And just
actually
like,
is very scientific.
yeah, it is. Even with the crystals, everything is measured by. There is measurable science to everything that is done in the energy world. And so when you
Right.
allow for your beliefs to shift, so will everything else.
Right.
But I wanna talk to the crystal whisperer, because I got something over the weekend and it spoke to me, and it was interesting because when I first walked past it, I didn't see it, and I walked past
Mm.
it again. I'm like, this is the one that I want, and I've like, this is real interesting. So this is my new find, and it's a very potent, very grounding energy. I shouldn't have said that, but what do
Is
you
that
know?
larva kite?
No, this is. So I will say that this is a man-made crystal. So this
Okay.
is man-made,
Wow.
and
What
it's. Go ahead,
what
Manny.
material? What do you call the material?
So I was trying to see if Brian could guess, because Brian has his
Oh,
deck, and
oh, oh, yeah. Go ahead,
but
Brian.
So it's like the light is reflecting on it that I can't get a good
Yeah, let me
view.
see if I can turn for a second to adjust. There we go.
So I guess like I'm a stickler. So anytime I see a stone that says man-made, I kind of just
Yeah, I know.
turn away. So I'm not really familiar with that stone.
But and I used to be the same way when it came to synthetics to man-made. And there are some that are very potent that have a high value. So this one is called terahertz. So it's not just a stone, but it's also a frequency. That's the reason why I purchased it, because it's a frequency that I can have in my space when I do the work that I do. Because for me personally, I like higher. Well, I'm almost at the point where I am required to have higher frequencies in my space. So it just emits this potent frequency of energy that I'm aligned with and can attune to. But you should because where was I? I was hanging. Yeah, because when I was in town this weekend, I missed you. But uh, it's what's the name of this store? It's called Moon Sisters or something. Moon Sisters in Fort Lauderdale.
Mystic Sisters.
Yes, that's where I got it from. You should go
Okay.
by. You should go by there, check it out, and see what you think of it, because it's a real interesting piece. It's like it's in between of like a shungite and a hematite. It's like in between the in the yeah,
Oh,
it's
so
like
this is what I thought it was. Larvicate. Because it has like that silvery
same
gray,
shade.
black. Yeah.
Yeah, Galena is also it's pretty close to Galena too, if you know what that one is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Galena's in here. Let me
So,
see if I can find
but
it.
the frequency is definitely between shungite and like hematite, galena, so it's like an in between frequency.
Okay.
It's not as high as like a shungite or a moldavite,
Mm.
but but it's one of the most impure frequencies that have been man made. So it's like, okay, I get it. So,
Okay. That's cool. I'll
yeah,
have to check it out.
yeah, definitely. So I know we don't have time for meditation, Brian, but tell us where people can find you, learn more about you, and even possibly book a massage session with you.
So you can find me on the Healerverse like
Website,
directory.
platform. Yeah.
You can also find me on Instagram at MagiBri222, MagiBri222. The website is on my Instagram, and you can always DM me to book a massage. I'm starting to do mobile, so I can come to you. If you're relatively close, I can't do a mobile if you're 3 hours away. But we can also do distance Reiki or card readings or anything like that virtually. So it's crazy doing distance Reiki because people who have never experienced it before will feel it during the session because we meet on Zoom. I kind of watch you as you are like meditating, and a lot of times the client will tell me, "Oh, were you on my third eye at the beginning of the session or at the end, or were at my feet?" They'll feel where I am even though I am not there.
Love it.
It's awesome. It's never boring.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Brian. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
man,
Thank you, Manny.
for joining us today. So be sure to check out Brian on his IG and follow him and connect with him on the Healerverse platform. We are so happy and grateful to have you part of our family, Brian. So everyone,
Thanks
thank you
for
so
having
much.
me.
You're most welcome, and have an amazing day, everyone. Take care.
Thank you. Happy Friday.